Vzhledem k tomu, že čas se již nachýlil k našemu závěrečnému
As we are slowly approaching the final session of today's conference. This is a discussion on the topic Vision for Responsible Public Procurement, where we shall find out what are the visions, what we may expect, and we will have the representatives of sustainable public procurement. It's Leona Gergilová-Steigerová, Deputy Minister for the Ministry of Regional Development, who is the main promoter creator of the responsible public procurement in Czech Republic, and we shall also have Mr. Jan Kříž, the Deputy Minister for the Ministry of Environmental Protection.
Tak, dobré odpoledne, dámy a pánové.
So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for the invitation to this particular event. The Ministry of Environmental Protection. I am in charge of the subsidies and voluntary tools. That is the topic of green public procurement within the ministry, and the eco-labeling and other voluntary tools.
Já musím říct, že tady ty příklady praxe,
the examples of best practices are highly inspirational and important for our further activities, because together with my colleague we have very ambitious plans how to promote the sustainable public procurement among public, how to make it more precise for the procurers, buyers on my behalf. These are the environmental criteria. We have prepared methodology, technical sheets concerning the individual product lines, furniture, cleaning agents, and others, where we have defined the basic or the minimum criteria which the products have to comply with, and we would like to have it slightly more binding, or that is to prepare an action plan which would be a framework document for procedures and products
směrem k těm veřejným zadavatelům. Ta doba dnes je hodně ambiciózní z pohledu
and required by the procurers, buyers. The current period is influenced by the Green Deal, lots of requirements as the taxonomy requested. Taxonomy defines criteria, green standards, what is environmental friendly, what is sustainable. Closely connects to green procurement, because currently, for example, the European funds, the new funds are obliged as a minimum standard to use the the minimum standards in the projects. For example, a construction carried out with a new cohesion policy, so the demolition waste has to be recycled to the level of 70% at least. So this is one of the conditions based on the taxonomy. So we are very, very close to so-called sustainable green procurement. The eco-labeling again is connected. We finally, in the autumn, we shall launch a campaign for eco-labeling. We have a supplier company who will help us to make the topic more popular among public. We have bound ourselves that we have to recruit more than 200 new applicants for the eco-labeling. So that's how we are looking for ways forward, and of course we are watching closely to what we have to comply with based on the European conditions requirements. This is the Green Deal, consumer protection. As the topic of greenwashing is around us, we are surrounded by it, and the Commission wants us, if anything is called eco, then it should have clear parameters it complies with, so there are no doubts on the consumer side what is eco-label or environmental friendly product. So I would say the current period fosters our intention to be very ambitious, both on behalf of the Ministry of Environmental Protection, and I think this is valid same for the Deputy Ministry. We have the Green Deal, the commitments in fighting the climate change. The restoration law is being drafted that concerns the biodiversity, protection of the nature, again will be implemented in the upcoming years, and if we won't behave responsibly, and apart from the goal, which on our behalf is to, for example, lower the emissions, to connect the people to sewage system or water system, we are not to follow the toxicity, carbon footprint and other parameters, then probably not be able to achieve the goals.
These are things that are interlinked. It is very demanding. Because, of course, there is a conservative group of people who are against implementation of some of these standards, but I believe that together with Mrs. Kerkelova we will be able to manage that, and we will progress further next year. Thank you very much. A nice evening from me, just 1 or 2 minutes and final summary. And what we wanted to mention, just to remind us where we are at the moment. Just like to remind that the framework for responsible procurement is the resolution of the government from 2017. I remember when we were preparing it with the colleagues of the Deputy Minister, and we actually rejoiced about it. There are certain rules, and I don't know who applied these rules into practice, maybe just the two of us. But then there was a new amendment of the law that provoked quite a high resistance, and also the section 6 paragraph 4. Now we think that the resolution of the government is not so much applicable, and we need new amendments. What is meaningful at the moment is to cancel the resolution from 2017 and replace it with the new resolution that would focus more on strategic procurement. I'd like to digress and think what I talked about yesterday. It is not related to the resolution, but the general direction of the ministry. All the discussions today and yesterday referred to the problematic aspects that are not only related to responsible procurement, but in general the culture of procurement. The Czech Republic, we heard the examples from Sweden and other countries, they all have strategy. So I think we should also come up with a strategy and to reach consensus on further development and heading of the Czech Republic. Yesterday we could not find consensus with Mr. Masna whether we still bid for a price, and then we heard from another speaker that 98% of contracts are won on price. So, by the way, there is another project from the Ministry for Regional Development on innovations in public procurement. So we should really be open the door and to take into account your comments and integrate it into strategy. We should also take a different approach to data. We should use more the key data that were also presented today, and based on the key and relevant data, prepare the strategy. Today, one of the awardees was the regional authority of Pilsen, and I think the regional level is an important level in public procurement. We should also discuss the issue of professionalization, and we should actually appreciate this profession of public procurers and provide bigger support. We also talked about auditing and control bodies and how to cooperate with that. So we used to have some of the auditors in the audience in the past, but we didn't have any at this conference. So this is also an area for improvement. And when I return to the resolution of the government, this is our common work between the two ministries. We should get inspiration from Austria. We should not reinvent the wheel, because also Germany and other member states have that. So to say that Section 6, paragraph 4 is not just a huge pressure, but that it can be used also in a positive way. So, and we at the ministries said that commodities for responsible procurement covers only certain categories. Austria has 16 product categories, and I agree with that. When I listen to Veronika Piačková, it is a great work, but I am afraid that if the contracting authorities will need several weeks to study all the documents, I think they will say, no, we will not do that. So it's really necessary to prepare transparent conditions and also promote legal work in construction sites, and also legal work in supplier chains. We should require it also from subcontractors and so on. know. And I know that there are some contracting authorities, like, for example, Czech TV and Mr. Reinmann, who are able to do even more than required. But there are also other contracting authorities that really need help and support. So I think this is quite a lot of work. It is necessary to reach consensus. So next year at the conference we will report on what we have done. So these are our plans. There's quite a lot of work ahead of us, and we look forward to your cooperation with you also in the future. And now back over to the moderators. Allow us to extend our thanks. We would like to say goodbye at this moment. We should say some closing remarks and to summarize the conference, but we have already heard a summary from both the ministries. We are very happy that you were with us and shared your experience with us. Hopefully you got some inspiration here. You acquired information, possibly new contacts, and we will happy to meet you again in the future. We believe that socially responsible and sustainable procurement will get more support, especially support in terms of guidance and methodology. I would also like to say that the sustainable public procurement will be even more supported in the future, and that we will be able to remove barriers that prevent innovations, and legislation and practice will be such that the responsible public procurement will be an integral part of the processes. So thank you very much and goodbye.